although you're crying now, I'd rather have you be in this era of growth and healing and understanding for yourself and really choosing you right now and finding a partner that you should be with than being in bed with that. Because most of the time it's not emotional, it's just ego. A lot of men that will do those things is because they lack the sense of self-security in themselves because they have a woman that likes them. This is seen as rare. Oh my God, she thinks I'm cool. I got to take advantage of this moment. Yeah, I got a girlfriend. It's fine. It's fine. But oh my God, a girl likes me. What does that say about a man? To willing to break, potentially disrupt a relationship for the sake of a moment. And I think that really tells me that they lack any self security. I will say, in my most ratchet, when I was in these streets, when I was in these swamplands, I was my most insecure. I was my most insecure. My drive was to holler at ladies because that was my external source of validation because I didn't feel it in myself. So I had to go out there and get the damn thing. So if a man's trying to get extra, that means there's a lack of himself. And his time, his body, his space is not precious. His life is not precious enough because he needs this external validation versus a man who knows he has this security. Because now I've done the work. I've used to be crazy disorganized attachment. I've done the work. I ain't perfect, but I know my time is precious. So it was really hard for me to get out of bed to go on a date, let alone, oh my God, a roster. Jesus Christ. I'm building my business. I'm doing me. I got goat yoga to do tomorrow. I ain't got time for this because I know my time's precious. So again, just to dive a little more in the psychology of why someone would do what they do and why would they hurt someone in that way is they're choosing those singular moments of validation based on that lack of self over a relationship. And again, it comes down to integrity. Comes down to these characteristics that are deemed as so crucial and important in a partner. So if they do cheat, if they do those things, that says so much about them. And it could be a discussion of breakdown. It could be a discussion to discuss through couples therapy. It could be, or it could be a very instilled thing that they normalize. So really kind of see how they move after they get caught. Because a lot of people can't face their shame. They'll get angry. They'll get mad. They'll make you like you're the bad guy or whatever because they can't face their shame. And this is a lot of psychological things that is really not your job to deal with. And by you attempting to try with them, they need to know that they are receiving some beautiful grace that is a rarity. In terms of the cheater versus cheated, and I know there's a lot of people are going to have a lot of comments on this. It's just the fact that like just the thing to remember, and it's just like I really want to double down on this. Just please, please, please remember that there are 8 billion people in the world. 8 billion people in the world. I know our brains, it's hard for us to fathom those large numbers, but it's important to in this situation. If 1 out of the 8 billion does something that you would never do, or say some things that you would never say, or act in a way that you would never act, that is them doing you a favor. That is them literally showing you where they are at and what they can give you and how they can love you. They are showing you who they are. So in a way, I challenge you to thank them. Thank them. Because now you have one and you have 7 billion 999,999,999 other options to discover of someone who could love you the way you should. What's important too is why is this such a gift of why people do what they do and they may hurt you, such as cheating, such as ghosting, such as all this, is that again, they're showing you who they are so that you could properly discover and move on to receive the love you're meant to. What makes me, I think, the most sad when it comes to death, when it comes to the cemetery, when I walk along all those things, is people from way back in the day, is not so much like death. That's sad, of course. But the amount of people that never got to realize their dreams, never got to realize their potential, not to realize the love that they should have received, and especially in terms of women back in the day. I know we all wanted old school love. I want old school love, Eli. Your mom, your great great grandma was afraid of Jesus and her man and couldn't even work or vote. So do you think this is the guy that necessarily she wanted to be with? I know Grandpappy was a nice guy, but, and you probably wouldn't be here because of it, but I look at that cemetery and I see a lot of women that never got to receive the love that they were meant to, that never got to be with the person that they were meant to. And the beauty of this hard moment, you may be crying now, this is literally a blank page.
The Self-Hype Podcast. Self Hype Podcast.